So this is a quick tour. This is Conrad from Gentleman Gardener. This is just a quick update on my garden and what progress I've had done there. I've installed a addition to my irrigation system and planted tomato plants, as you can see, and then finally planted my flowers in the ground. And then what we have here are some peppers that I do not know what type of peppers they are because I forgot to label them. So they are mystery peppers until they fruit, and then I'll know from that point. These are the remainder of my tomato seedlings that have yet to be put in the ground. Probably only about a third of this is going to be put in the ground, and the rest is going to be donated to a gardening center, community gardening center in Simi Valley, which is where I live. This is some flowering plants. I forgot what it's called, but the frost killed this in the winter and it grew back, and I'm really excited about it because the bees love this. And over here are some more flowering plants that attract the bees. And if you can see over here, those are ornamental sunflowers and barrage in the very front. So I'm looking forward to that. My miniature white cucumbers are growing very nicely, as you can see. I'm not really sure what's going on with the elephant garlic, and I'm not sure why it's flowering because I bought these bulbs in the store. So, but it looks like it has really pretty pink flowers. I'm sorry, purple flowers. You can see that. Looks pretty nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Got some nice cabbage growing right here. My sugar snap peas are pretty much done. I've harvested probably about, like, I don't know, 5-7 pounds from that. I'm probably going to be pulling everything out of this bed right here. I've got garlic that hasn't completed growing, but I planted it in early summer last year. All this stuff is planted in early summer. And I think I planted my onions too deep, so they don't have big bulbs on them. So this is going to be one of my things that I'm going to be amending and planting my peppers in. And over here are beets that are not yet ready. I pulled some of them and actually did some canning. I canned 2 quarts of beets, pickled them. And then there's turnips that I'm letting go to flower. I'm going to harvest the seeds from that, as well as the flowers to attract beneficial insects. Over around here, we have some leeks and then some bunching onions. You can see that. And then have some lettuce that kind of just grew there. And it's going to be flowering, so I'm going to collect seeds from that. And then, of course, cilantro that's gone to seed, and lots of nice little flowers and lots of little beneficial insects flying around. I've harvested most of my candy onions. There are some bunching onions in here, as well as leeks and some garlic. Over there you can see my celery. I waited too long to harvest it, and it's actually going to seed. So I'm just going to let it progress and go to seed, and I'm going to be harvesting seeds from that. Over here are my onion patch. I'm probably going to be pulling that in a couple months and making way. This is the Ramashano, I think. I'm not pronouncing it right, broccoli. I'm really disappointed. I only got a few heads and they went to seed, flower and seed. Lots of aphids all over it, and I don't know, they've just been growing up, haven't been doing anything. I think it's just too hot, so I'm going to pull these out and plant peppers here. This is a bed that I'm prepping to put soil in it. Put a 1/2-inch hardware wire to keep those pesky gophers from digging up into my raised beds. And then what we have here is my strawberry patch. And then Brussels sprouts, and they're growing really good. I'm probably going to be harvesting some of those in a few days. This is the opposite side of the celery. Got a nice big head of cabbage there. It looks really nice and healthy. And this is a sunflower that grew from sunflowers that were left in the heads that I threw in my compost bin. So I've got a bunch of sunflowers growing in there and onions that are going to seed as well. And behind here is the Asian winged bean, sorry. They're growing very slowly, probably because they're not getting a lot of sun because of the sunflowers. But they don't like a lot of hot you know, like they don't like hot temperatures, so I kind of planted them here so they'd be a little bit more shielded. Otherwise, they would not fruit. And these are my asparagus. And I've got a bunch of other pots. It's not really focusing on it that well. There you go. Anyways, this is the first time I've grew it. I grew them from crowns. I'm probably going to be transplanting these into a little raised bed that I'm going to be making specifically for my asparagus. So this is my tomato patch, one of my tomato patches. And as you can see, I've got everything in the ground. I've got my irrigation set up. Let me walk over here real quick. I've got PVC. These are going to be my tomato cages for these. I'm going to be tying them up. Adding to that, then over here, I just finished staking all my tomatoes. So far I have 86, but actually, as you'll see in a moment, I'm planting some in the front of the yard along the chain link fence. And so I actually don't have a count, but I'm probably going to be over 100, maybe 120 tomato plants when I'm done. This bed right here is my fall garden. I've got to harvest some of the cabbage there so I can make some sauerkraut. And if you can look, I know I've showed this before, but I've got like a gazillion seeds from broccoli. So I'm going to be harvesting the seeds from that. And these are my tomato condos. My tomatoes are growing. One of them is growing really good. The other one, which you can see, I don't know what's going on. They're kind of yellow and shriveling. I'm going to see if I don't think I'm watering too much. I don't think they're getting enough water. I'm setting up the irrigation system. I added the board. I'll be putting soaker hose in there and then filling it with soil. So that's on my to-do list. These are my butter bean soybeans. As you can see, I've got a nice little patch growing in there with a lot of weeds that I got to weed in there. So that's something that I need to do really bad. But they're growing very nicely. I'm going to have to update the netting on that, but I'm really happy with how they're doing. And these are all my pepper plants, and I actually need to transplant these into the ground, so they're doing okay in the pot. It's giving me some time. I topped all of these, and if you can look, you can see they're nice and bushy, lots of extra shoots and leaves going on, so I'm really happy about that. Here's some more miniature white cucumbers, and over here are peas all along here. More peas, sugar snap peas, and then some more miniature white cucumber that's just starting to get past its shock stage. And this is the last place that I'm planting stuff. Basically tomatoes, as you can see. I'm going to be planting them all along the fence in our front yard. And I'm going to be going over here with more tomatoes up to there. So that's pretty much the expansion of the chain link fence. It's going to be my little tomato cage. So it's going to save me some money. But anyways, that's it. Hope you liked it. I'll have another update pretty soon. Please feel free to leave any comments or suggestions for improvements, and I really appreciate it. Okay, thank you.